Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day, episode number 146. I never thought I would make it this far. Thank you guys so much for joining me. My name is Leland Brungart, and this is the review vlog where I review movies for you guys. So if something sucks, you don't have to see it. The film I'm reviewing for you guys today is Monsters vs. Aliens. This is the newest film from DreamWorks, their CG studio animation place. They've done the Shrek films, they did Kung Fu Panda, which is a movie I surprisingly love. More so than WALL-E, which is a very controversial opinion. Monsters vs. Aliens is directed by Rob Letterman and Conrad Vernon. I was very excited because Kung Fu Panda was so good. I was like, is this a new era for DreamWorks? Are they going to be making great films that could even compete with those of Pixar, who have been making the best CG films consistently? This movie, however, stars Reese Witherspoon, Seth Rogen, Hugh Laurie, Will Arnett, and Rainn Wilson. Reese Witherspoon plays this woman who on her wedding day is hit by an asteroid that makes her turn to 49 feet, I believe. So she gets snatched up by the government, and she's put in like an Area 51 type place with a bunch of other monsters. She's the 49-foot woman. There's a version of the Blob. There's a creature from the Black Lagoon. There's like a kind of like the Fly, but it's Hugh Laurie and he's a cockroach, which I thought was very funny. Great cast, I thought. Seth Rogen plays the blob guy named Bob. Very funny. A really great Seth Rogen performance, I thought. Probably one of my favorite Seth Rogen performances, in fact. I thought Hugh Laurie was very funny as the crazy scientist. I dug Will Arnett. And Rainn Wilson played the evil alien who's trying to get the meteorite that hit the girl to make her giant. So, a great cast. The problem I have with this movie is it is missing that bit of Pixar magic. You know, when I watch The Incredibles and Ratatouille, I'm a huge Brad Bird fan, or The Incredibles. Everything about them is so detailed. In Ratatouille, just the sequences of Remy, the little rat, inside the main character's apartment where they're just cooking together for the first time. It's just the way his apartment looked. It's the fact that they're chopping like real culinary students chop. You watch The Incredibles, and the house they're in is so distinctive, and it's like it's the 60s, and everything is so designed and so thought out, and it really helps you buy into that world so much more than you would if it was just a plain room. And that's the problem for me with Monsters vs. Aliens, and I realized it very early on in the film when Reese Witherspoon's character is getting married. They're in a church, and it's just brown floor, white walls. There was nothing special about it. There wasn't like dirt, maybe it was dirty, or, how old is this place? What's the design? It was really lifeless. It looked like they're just like, here's a set. And I would say the same thing about the Area 51 place where they kept all the monsters in. They could have done so many cool things. They could have made interesting chambers for them, and it's not. The chambers are fucking, cubes. They're just square walls like this, and then they're just bigger and bigger. And it really, I missed a sense of scale between a lot of these characters. I couldn't tell if the girl was still gigantic at first, but then there's like a little chair, and then these guys just felt really small. Nitpicks. But there are some really great things about this film, though. I think there's a really great action sequence, probably halfway through the film, that takes place in San Francisco, which was really, really cool. There's a whole sequence on the San Francisco Bridge of them just destroying it. There's like a Godzilla-like monster in this one that is super awesome. He's like a giant maggot or a grub or something like that. He's just super big, and he's like a Godzilla-type character. It was awesome to see these nods to really classic sci-fi films, because I love that type of stuff. I have a lot of nostalgia for black and white horror films. I love that kind of stuff. And it just was missing that bit of Pixar that really pushed me forward. I also don't think the emotional core of this film is as strong as I really wanted it to be. There is a really cool aspect to it, and the story is very female-centric. It has a very feminine point of view that I really dig, that I don't think you always get in a lot of other films. I don't know of a Pixar one that deals with feminism kind of outright the way that Monsters vs. Aliens does, but I don't think it really pulls its message off that well, so I can't really say too much about it. I give Monsters vs. Aliens a kind of 2.9 out of 5, maybe. Not quite a 3, but I'll give it a 3. Monsters vs. Aliens is okay. The 3D is really not that great. I saw it in 3D and it didn't really seem to add that much. I didn't think this movie was that interesting, so 2. Let's go with a 2. I'm going to give it a 2. Monsters vs. Aliens gets a 2 out of 5. Maybe worth a rental if you're at all interested. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Rate and subscribe.